Empringham in the middle of that battle for the lead. Here is Spinard in fourth, and look at this fight for fifth. On the outside, Ron Fellows trying to move around the number 8 car of Rick Vai as he chases him through the S's. Now we look rearwards from the number 8 car of Rick Vai, that rear-mounted Sony Handycam, giving us these pictures of the 6th place driver, Ron Fellows, who's right there, almost tapping Rick Vai in the bumper as he gets up onto the speed curbing, running along the pit straightaway, and now down into turn number 1. But Ron Fellows is right there, and he's had a marvelous run from the back row up into the 6th place position, and he's all over Rick Vai for 5th. Here comes Fellows. He pulls up alongside, and he will take over 5th as they went into turn number 2. So Ronnie Fellows up to 5th. Number 8, Rick Vai in the Pioneer Porsche, now running in 6th. It is Liliev and Bieri almost colliding into turn 3. Liliev in 7th, Bieri in the Pennzoil Porsche running back in the 8th place spot. The leaders in a Moss corner. Bill Adam trying to move on the inside of Empringham, forces him wide. Oh, David hits the guardrail on the outside of Moss corner. Bill Adam through into second. Spinard has taken over third as Empringham is on his way again, but he has lost a couple of positions. The leader, David Tennyson, in a Denon Porsche. Then it is Bill Adam in a Toshiba Porsche second. Spinard in a Motormaster Porsche runs third, then it's Empringham, followed by Fellows. Here's the battle for 6th, side by side. Number 4, Jacques Liliev in the 40 car of Uli Bieri up the back straightaway. Then it is Rick Vai back in 8th, and Bieri has taken over that 6th place position.
Pat, let's have a look again at David Empringham's little spin out. He was just offline at the entry to turn 5A, and the car got a little light coming off the crest, and the tail came loose. By the time he collected things, it was off the track and into the guardrail, and he lost a couple of spots. So he's headed into the pits now, and here is the revised top 10. Behind David Tennyson, everybody moves up a position. Fellows has moved all the way up to 4th after starting at the back of the grid. And Rick Vai has dropped to 7th place after once running in the top 5.
Brandon, I believe Rick may be having some problems with the car. He's certainly not going as fast as he was from earlier in the race.
Well, let's look back away from the lead group right now. The top of turn 2, well back from the lead group. John Graham and Doug Griesbach, and you'll notice that Griesbach's car looks very similar to the lead car, David Tennyson. And David Empringham back on the track now after a little visit to the pits. If his car is working, he should be able to make up some ground.
Number 42, Terry Martell, is headed for the pits. Terry is not figured in this race, but this may be why his Porsche 944 has developed a serious misfire.
Okay, back to the race for the lead now. Pat, Bill Adam is trying to take the top spot from David Tennyson, but Tennyson doing very well to protect the inside line on turn 8 here. Almost impossible to pass on the outside at Mosport, and Adam knows that, so he's obviously decided to tuck in and stay in 2nd spot.
Tennyson and Adam have stretched it out on the rest of the field. It's become a 2-driver race. Stay with us for more. In 8th and just behind in the 9th place position, David Empringham. After his visit to the pits, Empringham has climbed his way back up into the top 10, and now he's all over John Graham for the position as they come on the pit straightaway. Empringham is on the charge. We're back with the lead battle between Tennyson and number 3, Bill Adam in a Toshiba Porsche.
Well, this is a good battle, of course, the youngster against the veteran. Tennyson has really developed a single-mindedness about racing that's amazing, but Bill Adam has much more experience over the youngster. Earlier, I talked to Bill Adam about how race strategy develops for a driver in this series.
Sooner or later, the car is going to start going slower as you use up your tires and the fuel load gets lighter, and things will change on the car. So the lap times will change, and you have to drive accordingly. That if you keep trying to run as hard as you did in the first couple laps of the race, you're going to slide off the track. So you do have to play a bit of a waiting game, and sometimes the person that starts in the 2nd, 3rd row is going to have a little bit of an advantage because he can watch what happens and pick out where the weaknesses are forming on the leaders.
Bill Adam trying to pick out some kind of a weakness in David Tennyson's driving, but none is there as they break into turn number 8. Tennyson, your leader. Bill Adam just a half a car length back as they just throw these cars through the S's. Here's Richard Spinard running a little further back in the 3rd place spot. Up ahead, you see Tennyson and Adam. Spinard muscling the steering wheel as he comes on the pit straightaway, getting right up onto that speed curving on the outside of turn number 10 as the leaders, Tennyson and Bill Adam, again, just a car length separating the 2 as they head into the bottom of turn number 1. Spinard still trying to play catch-up to make it a 3-way battle. And, of course, here during round number 1, we had a whale of a race involving Ron Fellows, the man you're with right now, Bill Adam, and Richard Spinard. But David Tennyson pulling away. Adam appeared to have some problems there at the bottom of turn number 2, and Tennyson has been able to pull out a few car lengths. Spinard still running back in third. And now you're with the leader, David Tennyson, as he comes up for turn number 4. A very fast, blind left-hander down under the bridge. And still just a couple of car lengths. Here's Bill Adam closing as they come up into Moss Corner. There's Spinard in third. And Ron Fellows in the number 35 Porsche is back in fourth. And he is closing on Richard Spinard.
All right, Pat, let's have a look at the leaderboard today. It's David Tennyson you saw in the lead in that good battle with Bill Adam. Then it's Richard Spinard, last year's champion, and Ron Fellows has moved up to fourth. Uli Vieri standing in fifth right now. Liliev, Rick Vai, Norman Boyer, David Empringham, and John Graham rounding out the top 10.
Some of the other racing up the back straightaway. Jacques Liliev followed by Rick Vai as he tries to chase down the number 4 car of Jacques Liliev. And you're with Rick Vai currently running in the 7th place position as they come off the end of that long back straightaway to turn number 8 of the S's.
Well, you know, Rick Vai is an interesting story, Pat. Despite the troubles this season, he's taken on a lot this weekend. He co-drove another 944 Turbo in the 24-hour event just finished. Yesterday, he outlined for us his schedule for getting it all done.
Yeah, we're running the 24-hour, and I have 3 other very capable co-drivers, and I've told them from about 11 o'clock tonight till 7 or 8 in the morning they're on their own. So I'm going to get out of here and get some rest. So we'll be all right. We got some work to do on the Turbo Cup car, but I'll have a fair bit of time. I'm going to start the 24-hour, drive for an hour and a half or 3 hours, and then I'll have 6 or 7 hours off. So we'll be okay.
Rick Vai currently runs in the 7th place position. As we look at the lead battle, it is David Tennyson in the Denon Porsche just ahead of Bill Adam in the Toshiba Porsche over the crest of the hill. Bill Adam closing as they break into the top of the S's. But Tennyson manages to hold them off, and now you ride with Bill Adam in that 2nd place Porsche. Here they come through turn number 9 of the S's, both drivers just putting the wheels up on the speed curbing as they use every inch of the racetrack and then some. Now we look at this battle here for third. It is Richard Spinard trying to hold off a hard-charging Ronnie Fellows as the leaders head through the bottom of turn number 1. Bill Adams still trying to close on young David Tennyson. There's the gap back to Spinard in the Motormaster Porsche, and right with him is Ronnie Fellows, who's had another marvelous run from the back row and up into that 4th place position. This is the time in the race where those tires start to go away just a little bit as Fellows looking up the inside of Spinard into turn 3 was right there, but Spinard manages to hold him off. Fellows is all over him. Here is Rick Vai in the number 8 Porsche. He runs back in the 7th place position, try to close up on Jacques Liliev. Back into Moss Corner. It is Tennyson by just a few car lengths ahead of Bill Adam. Then comes the battle for 3rd place. Oh, and Ronnie Fellows almost tapping Richard Spinard as they headed out of 5B. And now Spinard motioning to Ronnie Fellows to go ahead, give him a tap in that rear bumper and help shove him along that back straightaway. And Fellows not having anything to do with it. He is just trying to work the draft as we're back with the leaders. David Tennyson in the number 19 blue Porsche leading Bill Adam, but they are just a couple of car lengths apart. And now we go side by side for third. Spinard and Ronnie Fellows over the crest of the hill, breaking into turn number 8. Spinard on the inside. Here goes Ronnie Fellows up to the outside. They're still running door handle to door handle into turn number 9. Spinard gets shoved out to the outside. He'll have the inside line into turn 10 and will muscle that 3rd place spot back from Ronnie Fellows.
Some great racing there. Richard Spinard making Ron Fellows' challenge look kind of feeble. Held the inside line all along, and it allowed him to hold the advantage right through the S's. And, you know, before the race, Fellows speculated on how tough this racing at the front might be.
Well, the difficulty is that the top 6 guys, or 7, they're still there. And Mosport is probably going to be the most difficult place to make up ground. It's very much a momentum track, and I'm going to have to count on a little bit of scrambling at the front. If the leaders can get it in and battle away, I may be able to catch up some ground. Otherwise, I think the best I can hope for is maybe 4th or 5th.
Here are the 2 drivers who've been battling away for the last few laps as Bill Adam pulls up on David Tennyson, almost side by side at the end of the straightaway. But again, Tennyson manages to hold off Bill Adam as these 2 drivers have just been battling back and forth.
That move by Bill Adam reminded me of the one we just described earlier with Ron Fellows, but once again holding the inside line for David Tennyson protects the lead.
Up across the start-finish line, David Tennyson trying to hang on as Bill Adam stays right with them. Tennyson has not been able to shake Bill Adam, although he has been pushing that Porsche right at the limit. They head up the short straightaway over the top of the hill into turn 2 as we're with Richard Spinard. Spinard also cresting the hill and through this off-camber left-hander at turn number 2. You can see as he gets it up onto the rough stuff, he has to fight the steering wheel on that Porsche, but again, still playing catch-up. Spinard checking in his rear mirror, and it is filled with Ronnie Fellows, who pulls up alongside. They'll go side by side out of turn number 3, and Fellows moves up into third. Ronnie Fellows has taken over third, getting around Richard Spinard on the short chute between turns 3 and this blind left-hander under the bridge.
So it is David Tennyson, then Bill Adam, and now Ron Fellows in third spot as we head for the finish at Mosport in race number 4. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this. Richard Spinard, who's currently running 4th, just behind Ron Fellows.
Down to the bottom of turn number 2, Richard Spinard looking up ahead at the third-place driver, Ronnie Fellows, as they slide these cars through turn number 3 for the final time. Less than a lap to go. The leaders under the bridge. Up into Moss Corner for the final time. That is where Tennyson made the move of the race with that out-braking move on the opening lap to steal the lead away from Spinard. He heads up the back straightaway about 6 car lengths ahead of Bill Adam. Then it is 35. Ronnie Fellows in third. Richard Spinard still runs back in the 4th place position. Bill Adam trying to pick up the draft on Tennyson, but he's not close enough. And Tennyson just pulling away slightly up that back straightaway. Over the crest of the hill, David Tennyson by about 3 car lengths. Bill Adam late braking in at turn number 8, but he's not able to make up very much ground. Just turns 9 and 10 to go. Here is Tennyson. He'll try to hold that inside line through turn number 10. The checkered flag is out at the flagger stand. Tennyson to the stripe, and he has won round number 4 of the Rothmans Porsche Turbo Cup Series. And David Tennyson, you can hear on board there, is one happy young man.
Pat, he is just going crazy. David Tennyson in the 19 Denon car, the blue car, whooping it up on the radio with his pit crew. Listen to him. Young man from Thornhill has won his first race in the Rothmans Porsche Turbo Cup Series, and pretty happy about it, as you can hear. David Tennyson, Bill Adam, and Ron Fellows, that's how they finish. That's how they'll take the medal podium. Richard Spinard and Uli Bieri finishing 4 and 5. As for the 6 through 10 finishers, Jacques Villeneuve, Rick Bai, Normand Boyer, David Empringham with that spin out and a trip to the pits. Costomy finishes 9th, and John Graham rounds out the top 10.
David Tennyson has rolled the Denon Porsche into victory lane. Big congratulations there from his crew chief, Gianni, as they are one very, very happy crew here this afternoon. Tennyson taking off the helmet and the balaclava. Here is Bill Adam, the 2nd place driver. Another fine run for Bill Adam here at Mosport. There's his crew chief, Terry Cleland, and a big kiss from his wife. And here's our winner, David Tennyson.
Fantastic. I don't even know what to say. It was amazing. I kept looking at Bill, and Bill's such a strategist when he drives. I thought he was going to get me towards the end because he's really incredible when it comes to pacing himself. But I just tried to do my best and stay in front of him, and I didn't make any mistakes, and it was fantastic. I learned a lot.
David Tennyson being called to the podium as Ron Fellows and Bill Adam are already up there and have received their presentations. A big hug from Fred Duby of Porsche. Congratulations to our winner, David Tennyson.
All right, Pat, thanks very much. No trip to the medal podium for Richard Spinard today, but with the 4th place finish, he does still lead the point standings by 7 over Ron Fellows. David Tennyson, with his win today, is in 6th spot. That is it for race number 4 in the Rothmans Porsche Turbo Cup Series. Join us next time. We'll be in the streets of Vancouver. I'm Brendan Connor for Pat Gonzalez. So long from Mosport.